Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Workouts for Older Men Live. I am 𝗪𝗲𝗋𝗃. So glad you are joining me here this morning. When you come on, say hello, hello, hello. That's a Workouts for Older Men Live greeting. Tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me how old you are, too. I want to know who TikTok, doing this live on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. I want to know who they are sending my way. Let me know if this is the first time you've been watching one of my live videos, too. So say hello. Tell me where you're watching me, what part of the world. Tell me how old you are, too. If you are new, my name is 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗃. I'm 61 years old. Actually, I'll be 62 years old next month. I've been doing this for 35 years. Right? Got obsessed at the age of 28, looking for something to be great at. I wasn't really that I had, I wasn't a skinny guy that got sand kicked in his face. I just moved to a new town. Someone introduced me to the gym. Just immediately fell in love at that point in my life. So for 15 years, it's all I thought about, right? Bodybuilding training. I'm a former 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder. I wrote my first book about bodybuilding back in 1994. I built my first internet website on fitness back in 1994. I sold my first VHS tape about bodybuilding and training in 1998. Right? If you did a Google search on 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗃, you'll see my body of work over the last 35 years. Right? Last 20 years, I shifted my life where, I got everything I wanted out of competitive bodybuilding. And now I live a life probably right now that you lived back, 25 years ago. I'm married now. I have a daughter who's just about 11. I have a son who's 9 years old, very active in sports and very active in parenting, right? Like you were. So, I have this empathy and understanding for you if you're a little bit older, maybe in your 50s, and this is the first time you're getting really serious about working out, maybe going to the gym or you want to, because earlier in your life, you took care of your family and your business, and you didn't work it in, right? I'm not one of those fitness guys. What's your excuse? There's a lot of priorities in life. Being healthy and fit is important, no doubt about that. And all the other things you did were important too. Let's put it all together. Now, I want to use my 35 years of experience, right? Not to make this complicated, not to show you how smart I am. Look, I learned from the best. I learned from the very best on my way to become a 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder. All these different diets, all these different training programs, all these little details, all these things, big things, small things, everything in between. Man, I did it with passion. I learned from the best. Right? I now know, making it to 62 years old, I now know, after been doing this for 35 years, what's important and what's not for you. Man who's a little bit older, you got a busy, productive life. All you want to do is build muscle, lose body fat. You want to do it right. You want to feel more certain and confident doing it. Right? You get all this information from the younger, passionate fitness experts. Anybody who has a camera, I get all of that. Right? But it's not sustainable. It's overwhelming. A lot of it's not necessary. I want to help you differentiate what's important and what's not, so you can just build muscle, lose body fat, and not get so confused with all the information. There's a saying that says, if everything is important, then nothing is. Right? It's really important. You can do all the things. You can put high priority on things that don't really matter. Spend all your time and energy, not get the results, and be confused. One thing when men come to me, it's workouts for older men. Again, everybody has different goals. They have a different starting point, and they have different goals, even though this is just fitness. Who I focus in on is men who live a life like I do. You don't want to be some big old huge bodybuilder. Right? Nothing wrong with that, but that's not. You just want to be healthy and fit. You want to live a long, healthy life. Right? It's not the same requirements. I mean, although the organizing principles of building muscle, losing body fat are the same, you want it simple and effective. Right? So you need to differentiate what's important or not. So when people, search out workouts for older men, because they have 40 pounds that they've been carrying around with them for a long time, now they finally want to do something about it. And it's a common thinking, even smart men like you, to punch in workouts for older men, right? Because you can't eat the way you used to. You feel like you're losing muscle, whatever it is that you feel a little disempowered, doesn't feel the same now that you're a little bit older, right? So you punch in workouts for older men, believing that the workout, the weight training, right? You want to do everything you do right. The weight training, right? You want to do that right. But what's going to really transform your body and help you lose that weight, it's not the weight training and it's not the cardio. I'm not saying those things don't help, but you got to really concentrate on your eating. Now, a lot of men don't want to hear that, but that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Is like you can have the best training routine, get all the different details, all the different splits, be an animal in the gym, uh, and you can hang with the young guys in the gym. They can totally respect everything you do, but you're still not making headway on that 20, 30 pounds because you're not putting enough emphasis on the eating plan, making it maybe too complex, right? There's a price to pay for every journey that you want in life. There's a price to pay, no doubt about it, right? But you don't want to overpay the price, and that's what I help men do. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, I think that's the unique approach that I bring to this, right? And it's not for everybody, right? And I get all that. But if that's you, just simple and effective. Look, I don't need a new hobby, right? I spend enough time on social media trying to get all these strategies, right? Just tell me what to do, give me some certainty and confidence, and I'll do the work. I really believe most men, when they are certain about what they'll do the work. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. Say hello, tell me where you're watching from. Ray 645 from Texas. George is 47 from New Jersey. Thank you for the follow, Jeremy. All right, Jeremy over on TikTok. Let's see on YouTube. Hello, Rolando over on YouTube. All right. Your body recovered okay from all the gear you blasted back in the day. I'm a former 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder, so I didn't have any recovery back from the steroids. So drug-free bodybuilder didn't blast the steroids back in the day. Didn't even use the steroids. Blast, use, whatever your terminology is. Hey, thank you so much for the follows, guys. Really appreciate that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Let me know where you're watching me from. These questions over on YouTube. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the follow, user 3643. Look like a famous actor. Hey, I get it, Yolanda. That's really funny. This test promoters work over-the-counter testosterone boosters. Here's the thing about the supplement industry. They, aggressively looking for ways to help, right? I think there's sometimes a disconnect. The studies say that it can promote this and that versus what a person expects. There are no over-the-counter test boosters that I'm aware of that work. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. So let me talk about it. So a lot of men they'll ask in this video. I want to talk about all the different diets. Right? No, you should not. Why are you asking some random diet? Don't know anything about you. Have you asked a doctor that? And have you test levels? Check. A lot of men ask me about all the different diets, whatever the fad diet is, what's going around the internet, like the carnivore diet. That's asked a lot. What do I think about the carnivore diet? What do I think about intermittent fasting? Right. There are a lot of different ways to go about this, and let me tell you what all the diets have in common, because they all will work, depending on what you're willing to commit to, what you understand, what you do for a long enough period of time, what your expectations are, what you expect from the diet, and in what time frame. but they all will work. Let me tell you all the different organizing principles that make a diet work. Now, I'm going to assume what you want from your diet, your eating plan is to lose body fat, maintain low body fat level, reduce body fat, and certainly maintain or build muscle. Right? I'm not sure if that's too much of an assumption. You want to live a long, healthy life. Those are the men who I usually cater to, right? Not big old bodybuilder types or that type, right? So you want to lose a body fat. You want to build muscle, right? Live a long, healthy life, right? Here's the things that diets have in common, right? So why would there be so many different diets? Well, they'll all focus on, a special feature that they'll really enhance this part of, I don't know, the fat loss process, the muscle building process, longevity, right? Mental clarity, all right? Hormone levels, right? They all have promote this does it better than all the other diets. So listen closely, to the carnivore diet or the intermittent fasting, right? So if that's what you want, if that appeals to you, right, you may be more committed, more excited. If there's some type of social proof that everybody's talking about, you have friends that have used that diet and it's worked, right? You'll be more likely, you'll be more likely to commit to it if you believe in what you do, and your level of commitment is everything. Because you can have any training program, any eating plan, but if you're not really committed, you put a 7 out of 10 effort in it. It could be the greatest diet, the greatest training program in the world, but you're not going to get the results because of the effort that you're putting in. So being certain and understanding this is what this diet promotes, its special feature, right? And this is how it does it in a unique fashion. Now, here's another thing to remember about these diets. Now, let's just say that you really believe this is the best diet. It's optimal for what they are promoting. That doesn't mean just a regular bodybuilder diet, right? Type of diet, a whole food diet, a carnivore diet. It doesn't mean that where the one diet, just say a carnivore diet, promotes to be the best in what it does. That doesn't mean that sticking to any of the other diets, it's a zero. So it's optimal, or if you don't do that diet, you're at a zero and you're wasting your time, right? So it's not an all or nothing thing when you commit to one of these diets, right? It's really important that you understand that, so you put the effort into it, right? So look, here's what all the diets will do, right? And I know when you ask fitness experts, how do you lose fat? That's a lot of men's biggest challenge. How to lose that body fat, right? And you hear calorie deficit. Calorie deficit. It seems simple, kind of too simple, where you just move along, right? So, the thing about it is, you want to eat as much food as you can while you are losing that body fat, even more than weight. A lot of men get caught up in weight and they got to lose X amount of pounds and get promised X amount of pounds a week. It doesn't really work that way. Or you can lose weight. It can be a lot of water weight. It could be too severe a diet, right? So you want to eat as much food, have energy for the day, to last the day, to work out hard, to handle stress life, to sleep better. So you want to eat as much food as you can. You can be in a calorie deficit eating 2,500 calories. I know most men, even if you're committed to this, even when you're working hard, you're doing the different training routines, you're watching what you eat, you're being a sensible approach to eating. A lot of men don't know how many calories that they're eating. They just randomly use their common sense, what that means to them. They'll get results. They may have a challenge later on, it being sustainable because they're too aggressive. But if you don't know how many calories that you're eating, all right. And by the way, you say, well, I count my macros. When you count your macros, you are counting your calories. You're just not extending the arithmetic. It's the same thing, right? So you got to make sure that you eat enough food. Don't get too aggressive, right? Because it's not going to be sustainable if you're starting when you're not as motivated, or things slow down, which they will. If you're too aggressive, you'll lose a lot of weight at the beginning, and then it'll slow down. You see, this isn't working anymore. Well, it's your understanding of how it works when you do this, right? It's more sustainable the more food that you eat. So you can be in a calorie deficit eating 2,500 calories, and if you're a 55-year-old man, and you can certainly be in a calorie deficit eating 1,000 calories. Now, first of all, you're going to have to know how many calories that you're eating, right? So you can't eat too much, obviously, right? But you can't eat too little either, right? You can get the short-term benefits and run into a brick wall later on because you ate too little food, right? When you find that right amount, right, that helps you lose body fat, not just weight, and you're still in a calorie deficit, and it is sustainable, and you're eating enough food to have energy and enjoy the quality of life, mental acuity, handling stress, sleeping good at night, of course, stronger in the gym, right? Knowing that it's body fat that you want to lose to look better, and you're playing a long game, so this is sustainable, right? You got to be consistent with that. And it's not necessarily the foods that you eat, like junk food. I mean, there's a way to work that in with your consistent with your eating habits. Body loves that regularity. It just kind of builds momentum. And the last thing that's really important that makes every diet work, and I kind of alluded to this, is that you know what to expect. How much weight, how much body fat, what changes to your body, in what time frame for the amount of work and the amount of effort you're putting in. I mean, you could be doing everything right, but if your expectations are off and you think, wow, you know, this is this isn't worth it anymore. I'm not losing as much weight as I did at the beginning. And then you change your diet, you're not as consistent, all right, you change things up. Right? You're gonna have a challenge just because you don't know what to expect. Right? So, look, every diet will work. Again, I'm just assuming you want to build muscle, lose body fat, right? If you don't eat too much, obviously, don't eat too little. That's important too. You're consistent when you find the right amount, and you know what to expect, what time frame. Those are the organizing principles that make every diet work, whether it's carnivore diet, intermittent fasting. A lot of men ask about intermittent fasting, 16-8, 500 calories on a meal, especially if you kind of don't know what it is, you're kind of new to this, right? 500 calories would seem like a big meal, right? Until you eat 500 calories every meal and your body kind of gets used to it. And pretty soon that, believe it or not, wouldn't be. But it seems like a lot of food. And if you just do that twice a day, you may feel, well, when I eat a lot of food, right? But here's the thing is, that's 1,000 calories. 2 meals at 500 calories, that's 1,000 calories. Now, I know, again, a lot of men don't really know how many calories you eat, but that is way too little food, right, for it to be sustainable. So those are the things that make every diet work. If you go to 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪.com, I know that, you hear some things, you're wondering what applies to you, what isn't, as you're looking through all this information, going through social media. It gets confusing. I understand all that. Go to 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪.com. If you have a question on my 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗂𝘀 website, go to my 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗂𝘀 website often. You'll see a lot of these topics talk about nutrition and training, motivation, all as it relates to older men with busy, productive lives. You see videos that are whether they're 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour long. A lot of your most commonly asked questions, I've taken time to do a video giving a thorough answer. Go there at your convenience. Join my live broadcast. All right, slowly and surely, bit by bit, in the right priority, you will get this handled together. But go to talkwithskip.com. Fill out that questionnaire. The best way to get what you want in life, and you know this, is to know what you want, to know exactly what you want. Now, your journey may be up and down. Get there, right? I always tell my kids, life's a squiggly line. You don't just set your mind to something and then it's not just a straight line to it. You're going to have to go through the ups and downs. But the best chance to get what you want is to know what you want. You'll notice when you fill out that questionnaire, I use my years of experience to kind of line it out. Just by filling out a questionnaire, even if you didn't submit it to me, it will get you clear on what it is your biggest challenge is. So you submit that. I look at all of those, right? I look at all of those questionnaires, and as I have time for me, I'll reach out to you by email, a text, right? Even a phone call. You take the time to fill that out. I will reach out to you in some way, right? So also text a picture. The number to text that picture is on that questionnaire. I'll have a picture of you. I'll fill out that questionnaire, and I'll have everything I need to be really efficient with your time and my time too. Like that. So fill out that questionnaire at 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗪.com. All right, here. Good morning, 𝗕𝘂𝗁𝗃 𝗪𝗃. Is creatine good for you? What do you expect out of creatine? Right? A lot of people ask about creatine. You know, you've heard all the things about creatine. What do you expect creatine to do for you? A lot of people don't even know what creatine does. And it's promoted a lot, I know, you know. So just to let you know, I come on every morning, 4 a.m. my time. You're the first person I talk to every morning. Right, so this is the second time actually I've been on this morning. Okay. Strength volumizer. What does a volumizer mean to you? I'm just curious. You know, what creatine does, it just, you know, the muscles are in a constant state of flux. It just pushes fluid into the muscle. It's not muscle, right? And it's not unsightly water, and it's not fat when you get awake. And a lot of men like that feeling, right? But you're not building muscle. It's not unsightly water weight, right? Muscle swell itself with a little water. So is that something that's something you want? Is that something that's going to help you reach your goals? Right? Were you a pro at some point? You look very familiar. Yeah, I qualified to be an IFBB pro. It wasn't really a big goal of mine, that I qualified by winning this Team Universe drug tested national show. Let me just say this, I would have done nothing on a pro stage, right? I'm 5'11", I was ripped and shredded, 205 pounds. That would have been absolutely do nothing on a pro stage, right? So never, and knowing all that, that was never a part of my plans. But let me show you a picture of what I look like in the day. And again, this is 41 years old, probably my 6th drug-free bodybuilding championship, 20 years ago. So you said I look familiar. There's a picture of me. I used to write for Muscle magazines. All right. Quantify that. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. Again, so this is the second time I've been here on this one. I'll come back later on and reading a lot of times, talk about fitness from the older guy's perspective, right? Different, priorities and breaking it down. I'll talk about life issues we work at and have a little bit of more relaxed conversations at night. I don't take creatine. All right. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for this workout for live today. Join me live again. Fill out that questionnaire. Talk with Skip. I know you get a lot of information. Right? I like to really dig in a little deeper. I mean, I love doing these live broadcasts and then find them helpful, motivational, if not informative. It really depends on where you are on the journey. It's very generic information. Many times, even though it's generic information, it's exactly what you need to go to the next step. The challenge is you may not know that, and it's I can't reach out. I can't talk to you personally to do it. So that's why I love the one-on-one coaching that I do. Get a lot of men that don't want to try to decipher the meeting and all these different strategies. Just tell them what to do, based on their lifestyle and their schedule. There's a lot of ways to do this. There's a lot of different eating strategies, as you know. There's a lot of different training strategies. There's a price to pay. There's no necessarily shortcuts, but you can be effective and efficient with what I call your time, your energy, your willpower, focus, energy, and time, as I call it, right? So what are, out of all these different workouts, all these different diets, right? What can you do and still stay consistent with your values, your priorities in life, right? Obviously, right? It's important to you, right? There is a price to pay, but you don't want to overpay the price. You don't have to. You want to come up with a sustainable plan. See, I personally think that I don't care if you're 40 pounds overweight. I don't care if you haven't been working out and you're getting to a commercial gym maybe for the first time, work into your life. You should eat the very first day of your eating plan. You should eat the very first day. The way you eat should be, the same way that you eat when you lose that 40 pounds. There is a way to do that. And how do you figure that out? How do you get that right start? And to help you read through all this information. The best thing to do, continue to follow my life. Ask your questions here, learn from the questions that are asked. But when I've got a lot of men who, they're the type of guys, when they know what they want, they go after it. I make myself available. Fill out that questionnaire. Go to talkwithskip.com. Fill out that questionnaire. You'll see that you'll get clear on what it is you're after, right? Maybe for the first time, because right now maybe all fuzzy, you're not sure where to go. And I know how overwhelming this can be. I mean, there are different things like, I don't know, you see me shooting this on 3 different formats. I've got a couple of cameras, 2 different computers going on, right? Even how to deliver, one of these live broadcasts, all while I'm producing it, while I'm talking, and the graphics, So, when I have a vision of what I want, just like you have a vision of the body that you want, I don't know how to do all these things, and so I'll look online, I'll Google things, and sometimes it makes my head spin. You got to be so committed to it, and then weed through all the information. It's intimidating. I get it. Maybe fitness, I have this thing down because, I was so determined, and I've got 35 years of doing it and thinking about it every single day. But I know what it's like to be frustrated, to be hardworking, ambitious, all right, smart guy, but can't get this down. I get it. It's interesting if you talk to some fitness experts, they'll go, it's just an hour a day. Sounds so hard. Why can't you do that? You have a great family, you have a great business, just an hour a day, right? And then here they are, big, bulky, they know everything, they look amazing. If you say, "Oh, that's no big deal," how dare you say that they use steroids to help them? Right? They'll get so offended, right? And they say, "Wait a second, you're the one who said it was just an hour a day, just an hour a day. So what? You look that way. It's just an hour a day. It's not just an hour a day." Right? A lot more goes into it. And even when all your focus is on your body, it's coming away from other areas of life that you're probably going to suffer in, if that's important to you too. It'd be nice if all you have to worry about was your body, right? Right? But there's a lot of different areas. You want to be effective and efficient with your willpower, focus, and energy time to reach your goals. Right? And everybody has different goals. I want to help you. I want to use my extreme effort and focus and learning from the masters and all of that, all right? And then how I have the life and how I balance the two, right? Right? It's really important to get that information done, right? It's really important, because like they can all be accurate, know what I mean? They can all use the most optimal science, but just like a lot of things in life, you don't have to use everything. Doesn't have to be optimal, especially if it's not sustainable and you don't do it. Right. So if that sounds like you, there's different. Just because you're older, just because you have a busy life, and we all have different goals, different ways to understand that. You need to find that coach who you really relate to. I mean, some guys are just really, they may be older and busy, and they just love the science part of it, right? They love to have a lot of moving parts. It's like a hobby. I totally get that, right? You know, if that's what you want, trust me, I did all that stuff. You can do a Google search, see all my ebooks online, probably get them for free. You'll see how I broke it down, right? Eating 500 grams of protein a day, right? Breaking it all down, 8 meals a day like clockwork, right? So I know what it's like, right? It's just that all those things, I guess, may work. It's not sustainable for and not needed for the older men who I cater to. And again, not for everyone. I totally get it. That's a great thing about the internet. There's somebody who's speaking your language, and you need to keep on going until you find that person. If that sounds like something that, make sure you follow, watch my videos right here on TikTok. Go to 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗪.com, fill out that questionnaire. Right, so that's going to do it for this Workouts for Older Men Live. Let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day. Thank you so much, YouTube and Facebook. Interesting day. If you were on my first live broadcast, I was doing the show and doing a lot of technical work at the same time. So thank you for your patience. Right, you guys reach out to me. Go to Talk with Skip, fill out that questionnaire, fill it out today. I'll acknowledge that I got it. You'll get a copy of it, and really go all out. Fill that out, and I will reach out to you by text, by email, maybe even a phone call, and we'll set up some time to talk. All right. So again, thank you so much for joining me here on TikTok. Make sure that you on YouTube and on Facebook. Make sure you follow. Fill out that questionnaire if you want to speed up the process. All right. Take care. Have a great day.